Fantastic. How great was it to have a win on your last game?
Really great. Obviously, we wanted to make playoffs, but when you kind of know that doesn't happen, you're just hoping to end on a win because it leads into, next year being good.
And what do you think it was that clicked for you guys this time?
I think offensively we worked much better together. I think we did a better job of trying to get to the rim. And then defensively we were hustling after stuff, and that kind of leads to your offensive game. So.
And for you, what are you looking forward to for what's coming? Are you looking for like a WNBL contract, or are you going back to America? Like what's next for you?
I'm definitely hoping for a WNBL contract. But if that doesn't happen, I'm gonna go home and kind of work on my game and hopefully prepare for next season. So.
And is another year at the Rush a potential for you too?
Hopefully. I'm kind of hopeful that it will happen, but a lot can happen in 6 months, so you kind of just gotta roll with it.
And on the night, how were you girls feeling going out on the court? Was there sort of a lot of emotion, or were you just going in with a 100% we can do this attitude for your last game?
100% we can do this attitude. We were obviously very excited, sad for it to be our last game, but at the same time, we just wanted to win because we wanted to get that, start in the season on a good note.
Just with your time with the Rush, obviously, season coming to an end now, how do you think it's helped your game and helped you develop as a player?
I had teammates who pushed me every day, so going against them in practice just made me a better player. And then we play, obviously everyone in our league is very good, so that just helps you prepare for what's next.
And obviously, last game at the Minor Dome, there were a lot of emotions, not just on the court, but in the stands. What was it like to sort of get that standing ovation at the end of the game and celebrate with the Ballarat crowd?
Felt awesome. Getting a win is awesome, but having that crowd back you up is just amazing.
Disappointing loss for the Miners.
It's probably a good word, disappointing. But in perspective, the last couple of weeks, we've had some modifications to what we've had to do, forced modifications, and we have to allow that. If we're going to we want to be a successful team. The timing is probably not great, but we've got guys want to represent their country, making NBL teams. We're in a position to probably allow them to go being on top of the ladder. Been a bit of a disruption. So even if you've got those players out, like Foxy is at Fiji, for 10 days, and Kwani's at the Kings camp, you still want to win. And but we didn't. And credit to the Melbourne Tigers, they played really well. But at the same time, I've been around a long time to keep things in perspective. We did some things differently with the players out. We didn't have Marquise the week before as well. We had 3 out. So it was an opportunity to give bench some minutes in these last 2 games, and some of those guys increased their minutes, doubled their minutes, and that was on purpose from me, strategic, because you never know the situation in the playoffs where they might be required to step up. So you want to condition them to be ready, and some guys took the minutes and did really well, and some probably struggled with a little bit, but I think it was still positive for those players to gain those minutes and that opportunity as far as our preparation goes. Because what I said to the players was after the game, had we won, I'd be saying, well, what's next? And they'd be saying, well, we've got to put that behind us, even if we won. I've been around, put that behind us, and now we've got the playoffs. So we lost. So to me, you put that behind you and you focus on what's coming now, the real deal, in respect to the playoffs. So we've worked really hard to put ourselves on top of the ladder, and I would certainly much rather home finals than away finals. Not that we're intimidated about playing at home, but I think it's also about having your community come and watch you play and support you as well. So there's a lot of positives. So I'm not really, that's in the rear vision mirror now, so we're looking forward. I need to see where we're going, otherwise we'll crash. So we're looking through the front window and making sure we stay on the road.
And how do you sort of regroup and look forward, and I guess what will you be focusing on too?
It's really easy to regroup. I've got a good bunch of guys. We've got good team chemistry. They know. The players know. We have really high standards and high expectations. So we played a half of basketball the other day. When you go through it, we played a half a game, defensively in particular, and we still nearly won the game. We put ourselves. What was really positive about that game, every time they looked like they were going to get away, we came back. We just couldn't finish to get our nose in front. So without, Kwani, and Foxy was exhausted, so he wasn't himself coming back after being away playing in that tournament. It still wasn't, for me, it wasn't a bad effort, so I'm looking at all the positives. Okay, you look at where we need to improve. We know where we need to improve. We want to be consistent defensively for 4 quarters. We want our running game. We want to share the basketball. We get back to really have attacking play, but sharing the basketball.
And Marquis was back after 3 weeks as MVP, and you played him for a lot more minutes than you said you would. How important was he to that game?
Yeah, look, he was one of the ones that turned it a few times and looked like he was going to get it across the line. And perhaps, even though it was within 10, the minutes you raise is a good one, the question, because I really wanted to play him probably 6 minutes max. But he was going that good. And having played the game when you go good, he'd be yelling at me and screaming at me if I took him out because he had a roll on. So, but at the same time, then I looked at his minutes at 3/4 time, and then I looked at the deficit. I have had teams come back from 10 before with 3 and a bit to go, but I just thought it wasn't worth the risk leaving him out there. We got him through the game. I think he played 29 or 30 minutes, and he was the MVP. So we haven't had him, for 3 weeks before that, but it was outstanding considering he hadn't played for 3 weeks. So that's a big positive for us coming into the playoffs.
This is the second week in a row Dean's really been attacked by a big-bodied centre. Is it a bit of a cause for concern?
Well, I think that's, everybody has their strengths and everybody looks at how you can take advantage of various players. But if you examine the game, you could probably, he physically got outmaneuvered at times, but I think Danny was put in some really difficult situations where when you analyse the game, and I raised this during the game, right, that he was in a help situation a lot of the time. We were getting beat on the perimeter off the dribble. And so what was happening, he was having to rotate and help and change shots, or in this particular situation, when shots went up, he's out of rebounding position. So the big fella for them, Pino, he got a lot of baskets because of Dan's focus on trying to help his teammates. And we raise that, so when you get that rotation, you've got to get another body on him. So that's where he's getting a lot of offensive rebounds, and he was getting a lot of catches off the penetration. So we didn't have the second and third rotation. So when you look at it, when you just look at the numbers, it looks like Pino dominating. But, on the other side of the coin, when Dan got into foul trouble, our defence didn't look great because he wasn't there. And so I really think responsibility comes back, and it'll be a focus for us this week, is sitting down and guarding your player. Because we've got Dengy there, certainly his insurance, but at the same time when he's helping those guys out, his man's going to score at times if we don't get the next rotation. So I think at times, definitely, but I think a lot of that happened in the game. So I certainly wouldn't say that it was about Dengy being beaten badly, because Dengy was still one of our best players after quarter time when he stayed out of foul trouble. We're better when he's on the floor, as everyone can see. He's probably the best defensive player in the league.
And I know you ended up finishing the game with more fast break points than them, but it seemed like every time they were forcing turnovers, they were really pushing down your throat. They had 18 points off turnovers. How important is it for your guys to get back, especially when in a lot of those times, Den can't recover all the way to
You're close to my bench, aren't you? And you're hearing what I'm saying about our defensive transition. That was a focus during the game, so you're on the money there. And that's usually great. We're usually great at that. We're the best defensive team in the league. If you look at points scored against and shooting percentages, that was something that was hurting us in the first half, and that certainly was a factor for them to have 53 points. So I think we addressed that the second half. They didn't get as many fast break points, but that's usually communication and effort. At one stage, I do remember yelling out to 3 of our big boys, actually, hey, they're all running in line. It's not just about the guard getting back, it's about everybody getting back. So that's a good point, but that's been a strength of ours. And so that's what I mean. So you're going to have inconsistencies throughout the game. And these games that you're talking about, and these issues you're raising, it's better to have this situation now and help us prepare, for the playoffs. So that's the stuff you take out of the game that's going to help you improve.
A couple of turnovers early, a couple of missed shots early for Jerry. It seemed like he got in his head a bit and might have struggled a bit throughout the game. What do you say to him? Obviously, he's one of the best scorers in the league. What do you say to him to help him get back into rhythm and to help his confidence?
I think that's an easy one. I think he probably forced it a bit. Just let the game come to him. He's going to get shots in our offense. He's been a key player, as you say, probably our best offensive player throughout the year. So for whatever reason, he was, you know, it's funny, I was having a chat with one of my players before when we were talking about it, and you just got to let the game come to him, and when he lets the game come to him, it flows, and it's not all on his shoulders as well. We've got, as you know, 5 or 6 guys in every double figures, so we'll just have a little chat about that, but I certainly won't be telling him to pull back, because I want him to be aggressive.
All right, cool. First game back after the Pacific Games, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good. You know, I was pretty tired when I got back, but you know, long flight, should have been used to it, should have been ready for it, but I wasn't.
And do you think on the weekend you're missing Kwani? Do you reckon his absence was felt with the team?
You know, Kwani's important to us. You know, he's been, you know, such a great spark plug for us. So, you know, we did miss that, but, you know, a lot of guys should have stepped up, and, you know, it was an opportunity for a couple guys to step up, and I think a few of them did, but we just didn't come out with the result we wanted.
And do you think the disruptions to the team, do you think that did have a major impact on how you guys performed on the night?
I mean, I think it had a little bit of effect, but we kind of knew the guys were going away and stuff, and, you know, it's, as Brandon said, you know, we want those guys to be able to go away like that. You know, our goal here is for guys to move up and continue, you know, pushing the levels that they're playing at. So, you know, we're happy for those guys, and like we hold nothing against them. So we're happy that they went away, got those opportunities.
And Brendan was saying, you know, you guys will be able to bounce back from this and regroup. So I guess what's the focus now going forward?
Just cleaning up a couple few things, you know, just defense. You know, our transition defense was a little slacking. Our physicality and rebounding, you know, was pretty evident on the night. So we're just gonna go back to the, you know, drawing board and fix those things.
And do you think losing the last 2 games is actually kind of helpful, getting that fire in your belly and like losing that sort of complacency going into finals?
You know, I think it might help a few people, but you know, we're hungry for a championship. You know, we know that we have to be better, and you know, I think a lot of guys still have that fire in them, and I don't think it had too much of an effect on us. You know, it just kind of helped us realize we have a lot more things that we can clean up and be a lot better than we already are. So, you know, it's pretty exciting to know that.
Obviously, Geordie stepped up the last 2 games in your absence. What have your impressions been of him? You know, he had 10 points early in the game the other night. You know, what have been your impressions of him stepping up into the starting line?
You know, it's not really a surprise. You know, Jordan can really hold his own against us. You know, it's just a matter of time till, you know, he really got comfortable with himself and gained some confidence. And once, you know, guys gain confidence, that's all you really need. So he's been playing really well. You know, we're excited for him. I'm happy for him. And, you know, hopefully he can continue doing it for us.
You've been pushing defense all year and rebounding all year. You know, they out-rebounded you quite handily at the weekend. What's the key? What's going to be the thing that you really need to lock into to make sure that doesn't happen against Kilsyth, who's another large team?
You know, it's just an effort-based thing. You know, it's something that we can control every single night. And, you know, dang, when he does go to help, you know, guys need to come and make an effort to help him out a little bit. And I think we can do a better job of that.